Welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. Phlarp stands for Park Hills Live Action Role Players. We are a medieval fantasy-themed LARP group that engages in unscripted combat against each other using padded LARP weapons and a shared combat system. We operate out of Park Hills, Missouri every Sunday from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. It is our hope here at the Phlarpin Podcast that through the utilization of this platform, we can expand on the ideas and suggestions taken from our players in order to maximize player retention and to expand our player base. The Phlarpin Podcast is made possible by support from our players and listeners like you. If you would like to support us, please visit our Patreon where you can do so for as little as $3 a month. Also, any engagement on our YouTube or Facebook pages is much appreciated, and thank you for listening. Welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. My name is Jason Smith, or North. Is this far enough?
And I'm Brandon Fraser, or Daveen Owen.
And I am Chris, or Eric the Red.
And I am Jessica, or Mercer Stitch.
She knew her name.
Gosh, you're brutal.
Congratulations.
Anyway.
Today is the 20-something? 7th?
27th.
August 27th. And the weather was beautiful today.
I agree. I'm soaked just from like the wet grass.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely perfect. Like perfect LARPing weather.
Mm-hmm. Especially comparatively
Oh, man,
compared
it's
to
been hot
everything
lately,
it's been.
so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just to get a day at under 90 is nice, let alone it was like, what, 80 degrees today at the most?
75.
That's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was almost chilly whenever we first got there, and then once we started fighting, I was like, this is great.
Yeah, it was so hot last week. I'm still bitching about it. So
It was really hot last week.
It was brutal. Real quick, for our viewers, you notice we have a different setup. We are no longer in the dungeon. We have upgraded to the first level at Mercer's place. So thank you, Mercer, for having us.
we have escaped the dungeon.
Yeah, thank you for the invite.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
It is very
You
much
guys are all
appreciated.
okay, I guess.
we're all okay.
We're all
I
okay.
guess.
I
Yeah,
guess.
that doesn't feel like super supportive, honestly.
That was like backhand full of knuckles, bro.
So, do we start with a recap, or
We can start with a recap, sure. Let me pull it up here.
do we want to start with comments from last week?
You
Or
want
with
to do
that- with
North's
that muddle-
responses? You
Yeah,
want-
I mean, I'm cool with it.
All right, so this segment is called
North's Responses.
Woo!
Sorry.
You
I
just
got
had to do
excited.
it.
I got
Had
excited.
to.
You just had to.
Okay, so for this, I am going to read the ones that are specifically questions or comments that are responses to our what used to be the code word is now a question, and you have to answer it in the comments. So I might skip a few here. So if your comment doesn't get read, it's because it's not really that relevant.
Ooh, that's kind of brutal, actually.
Wow.
Well, I mean, some
We
of these
might be able to
are
word that
not
differently,
relevant.
like we can only read so many in the amount of time we have.
That is true.
Well, if I had to pick some too, I mean, I would. That's not the reason I'm not reading them. It's just like literally, this is okay. It says, "I will be at Trash Bash on Labor Day." This is Valkyrie. If others can't make it due to family or activities,
You're
that
right.
they
That's
have
not
going on.
relative.
Yeah, see
You're
what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
Right. Like there are
Okay.
some of them that
That's
are
fair.
kind of like not appropriate.
You didn't make the cut, Val.
Not appropriate, but just not relevant. But the first one is from Valkyrie, and this is her favorite LARP memory. It says, "My favorite Phlarp moment was the first time Daveen went after North."
Yeah, it
Which
was.
I'm not sure when that was, but I'm sure I killed you. So
That's cap.
I was there. Okay,
Apparently, he was the only one present in that fight.
even though I don't remember it.
Was that just a little bit of...
Yeah,
Maybe.
that's a lot of that. Hey, listen, I'm keeping score. You don't want to know the score.
Okay.
It's not up there anymore.
I know the score.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot of me and a little of you. Maybe. Either way, continue on.
And then also underneath that was just a small comment about Daveen's Corner. It says, and this is also from Valkyrie, it says, "Back to the inappropriate jokes for Daveen's Corner." I don't know if that's a suggestion or like did we...
Well, we
did
said that
you-
on the podcast last
Yeah.
week
Oh,
that they were like
asking. Okay.
way more funny than my crappy dad jokes, apparently. So I will go back to perverted jokes for the audience.
And this one's a little longer, but it actually includes yours and Gregor's, I think.
Okay.
It says, "My favorite LARP," this is from Gregor. "My favorite LARP memory has to be the first time I won Battle for the Crown. I was only the third or fourth king in the history of Phlarp. I'd never had a lot of friends growing up, if any, and college is where I met people that changed my life and became the first people I was really close to. One by one, I'd gotten them all to come out with me because I'd always wanted to try LARP. We allied with Night Watch, which was North's clan at the time. I guess they saw potential in us. We were good, but I was happy just to be included. We'd meet up through the week for planning sessions, training, really strategizing, and it all came to fruition. I had assumed when our two clans came together at the end of that day, we'd be putting the crown back on Ubismak's head. He led Night Watch. I asked him how he wanted to do this, if he wanted to fight it out for real, or if he wanted us, Knights of Oblivion, to kneel down and let him kill us. And they kneeled instead, for me. And Brandon was right in his comment. It meant the world to me. It might be the first time I was ever proud of myself. They didn't have to make me king. I'd have been happy putting the crown with Night Watch. I was just happy to be included.
Yeah.
And just the relevance, I'll jump over to Brandon's.
That legit like touches me in my feels. It got a little lumpy in my throat.
Yeah, it meant a lot to him. I knew it did.
That does, like,
It's pretty
I have,
awesome.
over time, some of it kind of like blends together, so I don't have like real clear memories of all of this, but that does sound really awesome. Like, that would be totally epic if you thought, oh man, okay, what are we gonna do, and then we kneel to them. That'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's really
Because
cool.
I don't think it was discussed prior. It was just like, hey, we're an alliance. We may or may not win this thing. And we never discussed what would happen if we did. And it was just kind of like, and I think maybe Nightwatch had it previously.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ubismak had the crown.
And they helped us win before that, I think, so.
Probably. And it was just kind of like, okay, well, it's our turn to pass it to you, essentially. But it was a very vulnerable moment, and it was very cool. I remember it because I remember how happy Epsilon Fulminata was, which was Matt Hill's Lord character at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I'll go ahead and just read your comment too, although it's probably, you kind of summarized it right there, but it says, this is Brandon's, it says, or Daveen's, it says, my favorite memory is winning our first battle for the crown with Epsilon, Matthew Hill as our lord. I was happy, but he was beyond overjoyed. It made my heart happy.
mm-hmm.
So.
True story.
Awesome.
This is Cody, I guess Heston. Yes, this is Heston. He says, one of my favorite LARP memories, I think, is when I did a 1v1 with Rob. I don't remember his character name at the time. And barely managed to beat him in one round. He was really stoked at the time because he was one of the best fighters out there.
It's probably true.
Cool.
Perfect form.
And then we have Eric the Red. He says, I just high-fived myself for the day. You should try it.
Matter of fact, that day I did. I was all like, I just high-fived myself. And I made sure to timestamp it where we talked about it.
Oh.
Nice. I like that.
And then I have one from Thyra. This is just sort of a comment, but she also does have her, so this is not the favorite memory, but it's another comment. It's a little bit relevant, I guess. It says, also, I love the cute little dinosaurs during this week's podcast. So I guess there were some dinosaurs on the podcast.
We had different.
See it, but...
Yeah, I think there was dinosaurs when you guys did the announcement for Daveen's Corner, and then we had little characters on our faces for a little while.
Oh,
yeah.
They probably.
Yeah.
Right.
It was editing from.
Fair
somebody.
enough.
Way to watch the podcast.
I was in it.
We need the views.
You were in it and you didn't see the dinosaurs?
No,
Okay.
I have no idea what dinosaurs you guys are talking about.
And then Thyra's actual favorite memory was watching Trinity as the ogre was amazing for his first try at it. Thyra.
I unfortunately missed it.
Way to be.
I saw it. I thought you did a good job.
And then this was just a relevant comment. It says, the dirty jokes are what make Daveen's Corner the better. That's from Eric the Red.
Fair.
So apparently you're getting a lot of support for
dirty jokes, bro.
Yeah. And then there's a reply from Trinity that says, totally agree, the dirty jokes are the best. I can't believe I just agreed with someone who high fives themselves.
That's funny. That might have been the best joke this week.
And then, okay, I'm gonna
just take your time.
Yeah, and then we have a favorite memory from Wilhelm. It says his favorite LARP memory. Long ago, the Blades were publicly inaugurating one of their new members, making a big RP event of it. The Night Watch was there to interrupt and add a bit of red to the blue and silver.
I guess you guys killed some of their people during this inauguration.
Yeah, I
That's
guess.
what it sounds like.
Before I knew
Sounds
it,
like a Night Watch thing to do.
every clan was there. The battle was total chaos. I got slain, and Kitty Marie raised me up as a zombie servant with orders to cause as much chaos as I could. I went to fight alongside the Blades, dodging strikes from allies and enemies alike. And then they disagreed with somebody's take on Fortnite. He says, I thought the Save the World was so much better than Battle Royale, but I also prefer co-op over PvP, different strokes for different folks.
That's true. That was Wilhelm?
Mm-hmm. And that was Wilhelm, yep.
It was called Save the World, he's right. So I thought it was terrible. Awful. But to each their own, like you said.
Mm-hmm. One of the only, this is a kind of a tangent, but I'll get back to the main event here. But one of the cool memories I have too is sort of an RP event like that where we took Jason. Well, I don't remember what his character name was at the time, but his first name was Jason, and it was another character a player that we had, that was playing with us at the time, and we were going to like teach him a lesson or something, and we kind of asked him if he was okay with. I asked him if he was okay with me spraying like fake monster blood or whatever all over his face, and I was like, I'll try to just avoid your eyes, so it doesn't get in your eyes and stuff. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. So we got him, and we kind of like I had my other people hold his arms, and then I had another person like quote unquote beat him, like because they were just, and they had their back to the crowd. So from the crowd's perspective, it looked like the guy was just hitting him, And as he was hitting him, I had my arms crossed, and I had the fake blood underneath my arm like this, and I was just like blasting him right in the face with it. I tried to avoid his eyes, but like it did not. I didn't. Basically.
I would have closed my eyes if I were him.
And it was just hitting him in the face, and he was just and then he went back and like fought the rest of the day with it all over his face like that. I was like,
pretty
dude,
cool.
That's awesome. It was a cool role play thing. So.
And that's not the only time we've done it. We also, do you remember when we tar and feathered that one kid?
Mm-hmm.
We had, I don't even remember what it was. It was wild. We had, was it flour? What was the?
It was some other kind.
It was powdered sugar.
Oh.
So we had powdered sugar, and then I made somebody get a trash bag and go collect a whole trash bag full of leaves for the feathers.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like relatively new. He just like showed up, and at the time I was the king. And he was heckling me so hard, dude. It was awesome. Like I legitimately respected it. And I was like, you better stop. You're like this close to, there's going to be a punishment. You know what I mean? Like this is treason. And he kept with it. And so we pulled him aside because we always want to do that when it comes to like this kind of thing. We're like, would you care if we like publicly punished you? And it involves basically covering you in powdered sugar and just like basically taking this bag of leaves and just like he's like, yeah, no, it sounds great, let's do that. And so we did, like right there at the amphitheater with everybody watching. We like had him down and like threw powdered sugar all over this kid and like this bag of leaves, and then he just continued to talk crap because
of course.
Yeah, but it was a good time. I had a good time with it. Do you remember that?
I don't think I was there for that.
I do. I remember it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I remember hearing about it, but I don't think I actually saw it.
Not that this is relevant, but I also seem to remember him never coming back too, right?
Yeah, I remember that part too. But we did ask him permission beforehand. I promise.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know that is the reason he didn't come back, but still, it's kind of a funny little.
It is kind of a funny little story. He's like, yeah, I'm never going back there. They literally covered my body in powdered sugar and made fun of me in front of everyone.
Back then, I didn't really stay like super late either. Like my kids were real little, so I would come earlier during the day, so I would miss a lot of the fun stuff that would happen in the evening time, like when everybody would get all.
Do you want to read yours? Yours is next.
Who wants to read their own?
Oh yeah, you can read it. I mean, well, I already have it in my hand, I guess.
I can read it.
My favorite. Well,
he read mine, and then is going to make you read your own.
For consistency's sake, I'll read it because I read everybody else. It says so this is from Mercer Stitch or Jessica. It says, my favorite memories are going to the property for the first time and getting a tour from Little Horn, and when Rob got killed with a sword kick from an armless player, which was Haley, I think was her first name.
Also, to be clear, that's not illegal.
True.
That's not legal. We're not kicking swords at people out at LARP, just to be clear.
No, that's not legal now.
Yeah, it's not a legal move or whatever, but at the time, we honored it. Like,
yeah.
It wasn't even a legal move at the time, but it was just so cool, and like
I'm surprised he honored it, honestly.
And he took the death.
Well, he did tell her, like, if you can hit me with it with no arms, I'll take it.
I barely remember this, but I'm sure I was there.
I vaguely remember him saying, she kind of got my neck too, but it's okay. I went ahead and just kind of gave it to her. So
that's fair. That sounds about.
He was a good sport about it.
Because he didn't want to take
the
kill away from her. And then we have Pius, who says, I think that's who this is. It says, my favorite is North's fried egg sandwiches.
True. Good memory.
I guess that's his
I got some good memories
memory.
involving the fried egg sandwiches too. So.
Yeah, one of the first ones I cooked you where you're like, I want it to like explode and go all over my shirt or whatever.
Yeah, so this is just and I realize this is random, but for me, a fried egg sandwich, I need the yolk to be runny. I don't like it when the yolk is like cooked through.
It's like hard boiled.
Yeah, I want that thing to be a mess when I eat it. That's just me. That's how I eat fried egg sandwiches.
And then he bit into it, and he's like, "Oh, it did it!
It did it, and it was like, oh, that's such a, like, because everyone else was like, oh no, and I was like, no, oh yes.
Cool. And then we have Vix she says, my favorite LARP memory so far was my very first time participating at LARP in Columbia Park. Brandon and Rob, I don't know which characters they were playing at the time, both came up to me during Minion and let me defeat them, and they went off and won the game for me. It was a great experience and made me want to come back. They also the ones who invited me to property, and going out there the next week really settled me into keep LARPing forever.
These
awesome.
These comments are making me like way too nice. I want people to think I'm mean.
Yeah.
Don't you dare come ask me to help you win Minion now. I'm just kidding. But seriously, I'm not going to help you win Minion.
Probably not the same people that you already helped once before.
No,
but
it has to be new people.
sorry, Vic, you're out this time.
And
She can win on her own now.
That's true.
Hey, look, a copper.
That was mine.
No,
Yes.
Cap. It was in my pocket.
You stole it
When?
while I was out on the field.
That's possible.
See?
No.
You got any more?
Nope. No, I'm just kidding. There's more. Yes. This one says, next we have from Joseph, which I kind of knew as soon as I was reading this what it was going to be. I kind of expected it to be, but it was a cool moment.
Oh,
even
this is really
as a
cool.
spectator.
I wish something like this would have happened to me at some point. This is
It's
cool.
pretty epic. It says, my favorite LARP memory is when we were playing Ditch, and it was down to a fight between me and Arno, and I managed to sneak in a jab with the right arm. I'm a lefty, and I won the game for my team. Then I get picked up like a football player. LOL. Joseph, it says.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. They all cheered and picked him up and carried him around. It was
I mean, I
awesome.
want to be clear. I wasn't a part of that because my team lost. Okay.
Yeah.
But no, it was really cool. I was really happy for him and really disappointed in Arno.
This one's really good, too. I don't know if you
Ouch.
read these comments. This one has to do with you, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
It
haven't read a
says-
lot of these.
This one's awesome, I think. When I first read it, I was like, this is amazing.
Okay.
It goes, so this is Valnir,
Oh.
who was Rand at the time.
Right.
He says, my favorite LARP memory would be me and Robbie being on the other side of the property, hearing Caden Atwood, who, by the way, had a 120 gold bounty at the time. Sorry if I spelled the name wrong. Yelling Ironheart Surge, and me completely running through the woods with my shield up, smashing branches out of my way. And as soon as I come to the clearing, he goes, 5 seconds. Good job.
I had like some crazy training stuff for those guys back in
So
the
like
day.
you weren't even being attacked?
No,
You were
I
just-
probably just went out there and yelled Ironheart Surge to see how fast my people came to help me.
Dude, that's actually epic. It's an epic way to like test them. You know,
Yeah.
they're just sitting around, they hear Iron Surge, like, oh my god.
Yeah. Could you just imagine like your lord just like yelling very loudly in the woods, you rushing to get him. You get there and he's like, quick, good job.
Yeah, good job. You passed. That was a test.
I could only imagine what his face looked. I don't particularly remember that, but I know it's something I did. At least 99.9% sure.
And I could just imagine too, because like back then he had like longer hair and it's like real curly. Like I could just see him with like sticks and
Oh yeah.
leaves sticking out of his head.
Holding the shield up and just bashing through
I
everything.
remember
Yeah.
doing stuff like that back in the day, especially like before the trails like were really formed, like they were really overgrown, and that's kind of the only way you could get through there was just like put up a shield and hope.
Mhm.
And God forbid there's like a line because like one person will like go through and like a branch will come back and hit somebody.
Yes.
You got to be
Either-
really careful
You
out
either
there.
you need to be right on, like right up on them if you're doing that, or like so far away that you're not going to hit by the branches coming backwards through. Yeah. That's like the worst when you're following somebody and the branches keep swinging back and hitting you, you know.
And just to be clear, I think, at least in my mind, the reason that I'm in a lot of these is not for any reason other than I've been around forever. Like, I've just been here for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but also at property, like you're a person that really like stays in character the
Yeah.
whole time, so it's easy to make memories of LARP with you because like you interact with everybody and you stay in character, and that makes it more memorable.
yeah. I will say that I do think I have a fairly, like, polarizing, just, like, way about me where, like, people are either drawn to it or kind of pushed away from it.
Mm-hmm.
And the people that I feel like are drawn to it, I do everything I can do to make them have a good time. So,
Well, good job. Looks like you're doing a good
Yeah,
job.
you're ending up in a lot of these people's favorite
Yeah.
memories, so that's
Yeah.
cool.
That's awesome.
Well, I'm happy to be in their favorite memories. I'm sure if the question was your least favorite memories, I'd probably be in some of them too.
Maybe. Yeah, probably.
Oh, for sure.
And then we have from Trinity, it says, my favorite recent LARP memory was Arno tumbling down the field trying to get away from me.
Dude,
Trinity.
that was so cool. Do you guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's just beautiful. Wow.
Fancy.
Nah, that is beautiful.
I did send this to
Here, let's see this.
our video
Let's show
editor,
this.
so hopefully our video editor will
Yeah,
put that in
look at
there.
that. That's nice.
So,
That sexy vampire there.
Yikes.
You see what you did?
yeah.
Okay.
You're not the only one that high
You got any
fives
more
yourself,
comments?
I guess.
Your segment's kind of taking a long time.
I'm almost
is.
done. Then there was just a comment from Vic, a reply from Vix on that last comment that just said, that was a great day. I'm so happy to have caught it on camera. So if you haven't seen that, go back and look. It's
That's
on
very
camera,
cool.
Apparently, it was when Trinity kept stabbing at Arno, and he has Trinity has a deceptive reach with that
You say
spear
deceptive.
too.
The thing is by itself is
Well,
like 8
true.
feet long or
True.
something.
And Arno kept just desperately trying to dodge
Dude, it was cool.
backwards, and he just kept doing that like 3 or 4 times
He was
in
like
a row.
tumbling, and like when he would hit the air, he would push off. So he was like in the air, and then he would do it again and again, and he was like going down the hill like backwards, doing
Yeah.
somersaults backwards.
Yep.
So
yeah,
cool.
The best description I think I heard of it was what you said. There was like a hat in the wind or
Yeah, it was
something.
like a hat tumbling in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That actually is in one of the previous podcasts. So if you actually want to see the footage of that, I can't tell you which episode it is, but you can find it if you watch all of them. That's all I got.
Before we move on from whatever this is called now, North's thing.
Whatever you want to call it, man.
Well, I'll get a better name next time, but
Okay.
we'll still just call it what we called it before. Do we need to think of the next one now, or should we wait on that?
I've got a question that we could just throw out there if you just want to throw something
Sure.
out there.
Yeah.
My question would be, and of course, if you want to be included for watching the podcast to get the experience for that, go ahead and answer this particular question in the comments, please. The question this time is, what is your favorite weapon combination to use and why?
Okay.
Okay.
So,
And know that you get credit for that, even if you're there or not. We went through today before the game started and made sure to mark everybody that had commented. So even if you're not there at the actual event, you're still going to get credit. So
true.
Yep.
Yeah, and if you have a weird like YouTube name and we can't tell who you are, just sign off with your character name.
yeah, which is at first I realized that's what they were doing in the replies. Like sometimes they would put reply just their name. like
Right.
that.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Awesome.
So we'll keep an eye on that too and make sure. But anyway, this has been
North's
Responses.
Yay!
There you go.
Okay.
Did you just...
High five.
I high-fived myself like 3 times in
Oh,
a row.
okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That wasn't that high.
Okay, low 5.
Golf clap?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Fair
So
enough.
what's next?
I think we have a recap.
We can do recap.
Can
I'm
we
ready.
do recap? Let's do it.
Sure. All right.
I'll let you guys steer for a bit.
You want to help me here?
I see his passcode.
You can
It's
have
okay.
it.
So we started off the day with the costume contest,
Yep.
Ooh.
and the participants were Lucian, Lady Elizabeth, Rose the Heifer, Trinity, Raven Shadow Weaver,
Mm-hmm.
Squishy, Heston Iverson, myself, Gregar, Vix, Hydroid, and Sarvok.
True. And then I'll just to take over here. In third place was Gregor. Congratulations, Gregor. In second place, Squishy. And then in first place today was Lady Elizabeth, who had a pretty kick-butt pirate costume.
Kick butt.
The addition of the like overcoat, wasn't there like an overcoat this time?
Yeah, there was
And
more
also
layers.
like a tankard that was new. There was some new stuff.
There's
that
a
really
new
helped
pouch
a lot.
that kind of looked very cool. I mean,
Yep.
she just like continues to add elements. She's got the boots, the whole thing. I mean, it's very cool.
Yeah.
Even though like I'm not super into pirates or anything, and I still was like, that's the coolest costume up there. Even not really being a fan of pirates. So
And shout out too to all the runners up because there were a lot of really cool costumes.
yeah, today there was a
people that had
lot of
some
good costumes.
Other new costumes and stuff. So
Yeah, they were pretty amazing.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
costume
Gregor
contest is
had a
getting
new
really good.
like vest thing that he was wearing today. I don't know if you noticed that, but
Yeah,
it was
no,
pretty neat looking.
I noticed it. I think that's probably why he finished third. I mean, that was like what set his cost. Because I even said something to North. I said I don't really want to vote for anybody whose costume hasn't changed.
Right.
And obviously, first, second, and third, all their costumes had changed. So.
Mm-hmm.
And I have like a little bit of maybe a comment, I guess, on the costume contest. What do you guys think about the idea of allowing, whenever we do the introductions, whenever you're like going over and introducing each contest, wait for the voting till after this part, right? But you do the introductions and then give them like 10 seconds or whatever.
Oh.
That was nice.
Wait.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Or however long they need to, if they want to, do a little like demonstration or skit or like a little something to add to it more than just, here's my costume or whatever.
So-
Even if they step forward and they're like, I'm north of the Night Watch and whatever. I don't
Sure.
know.
And
Just
all
making
this,
up
just
shit,
to be
but-
clear, all of this stemmed from, because I already know why this is.
yeah.
After we started going and Sarvok did his little twirl or whatever, North was like, I kind of wish I still had my vote because like that may have swayed things.
Listen, I kind of threw Sarvok under the bus though, because he stood out. I didn't even notice it until he stepped out there and did his little twirl, and I was like, "Hey, man, your cloak's on inside out." He was
I
like,
didn't
And
even
he's like,
notice.
I put it that way on purpose. Didn't he say that?
"No," he's like, "Oh man, I didn't even
Oh,
notice."
okay.
Dude, that might be the happiest guy out there.
Mhm.
That dude's just always happy. He's got a
Yeah.
smile ear to ear all the time.
He's really, really fun to LARP with because
He
he
is.
is like I've never seen him in a bad mood about anything.
Yeah,
He's really getting
I agree.
good at role playing too. Like he's really jumping in there with the role playing. It's cool when a newer player starts trying to role play a little bit. Like Aragon, Rolford was role playing a little bit today, and it's kind of getting into it or whatever. And
Yeah.
it's really fun whenever I start interacting with people, and then they're like, and you see what they're like.
Yeah.
The way they role play
Yeah.
starts coming out.
I got to do some cool role play with Sarvok today. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
had both been banished. I was banished by North, and we were out there together. And I was like,
Well,
we're both
can I-
exiled.
Okay, yeah. Can I tell the part of how you got exiled
Sure,
first?
sure,
Because I
sure.
didn't really tell you this in game, but so you exiled him, right? Or no, you exiled the other
I
person.
exiled Trinity.
Trinity.
Now,
right?
to be clear, I want to tell you why.
Okay.
So he was just outside the tavern, and somebody said something about heroes, and he said, "There's no heroes here outside
yeah.
of the Fangs."
Oh yeah.
And I was like, "What'd you say?" And he walked up into the tavern, like at me.
Yeah, you even said come into town and say that.
Yeah, I was
or
like,
something.
"Come in town and say that to my face." So he like walked into town, got into me, and said it to my face, and I was like, "You're banished." And people just like start stabbing him. And then I thought I was clear.
Sarvok comes up and he's like, "Well, what happened? What happened?" And I walked over and I was like, "Your guy got killed or whatever. What's up?" And he's like, "Well, what the heck, And I was like, I have like an exile too, for the right coin.
This is dirty.
Oh.
We could
Do you see the dirty politicians that
Oh.
exist inside Darvishan right now?
No kidding.
we could even the
especially-
odds,
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Oh, okay." And then I said, and then he went and got me. I said, he said, "How much?" And I said, "A silver." And he said, "Okay."
For a silver?
So he went and got a
He's
silver.
dirty.
Bro, he sold you out for a silver.
I know.
And then he handed it to me, and I said, "All right, just give me the signal, and I'll do it." And then they walked over there by you, and I was like, and
Dirty.
they nodded at me, and I was like, "You're exiled." And then they just stabbed you. right
Yeah.
there.
I fell down on the concrete right there
He
in the
did.
middle of the
He
tavern.
did.
And then somebody else got exiled, right? Then Sarvok himself got exiled by who? You?
I
Yeah.
was going to, but I
It
was
was like a-
you know what?
Cascade
whatever.
event.
I thought he was.
Nope.
It was said. I
It
know
was
that.
sad, but
So I assumed he was that because that's part of my story. I assumed Sarvok was also
Okay.
exiled, but and he did too. So just to take the story a little bit further, at some point I was out there in the field with Sarvok, and I was like, both of us are exiled. It's kind of a bad situation for us, He's like, yeah, and I was like, maybe we should ally up. And he's like, well, yeah, that sounds like a good idea, whatever. And I was like, heard this rumor that somebody paid North to have me exiled. And he just was like, really? Who do you think it was? And I was like, I know who it was. And he's like, so are we enemies? Like he like basically admitted to doing it. And I was like, it might come to that. And then at some point, Mercer was basically getting attacked by Pius or Trinity or somebody. And I ran over and killed them. And then Sarvok tried to kill me. And I was like, I guess this is off. And so we were like fighting. But like, it's really cool just to see roleplay from people that you don't necessarily expect to see role play
Right.
from just because they haven't been there that long. I feel like he's really taken this thing in stride, and I'm very excited to see him out there.
Yeah, I think that with him joining the Fangs, I think it kind of allowed him to open up and express himself
Yeah,
in
I
that
agree.
RP factor.
And he's got friends out there now, and now Takimura's involved too, and we've seen him way more frequent than we did before he joined the Fang. So
Yeah.
something I'm pretty excited about. Anyway, you want to keep going?
Sure. Next, we played Last Man Standing, and in third place was Daveen.
Woo!
Second place was Aridin and Gregor.
Yeah, they
Yes.
simoed.
Oh, okay, I guess I missed that.
And because
That's the only reason I got third place.
yeah, because you thought you were out whenever you got eliminated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't care, but it still was like cool. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I guess he came up and told me I got third. I was like, well, I don't want third. Like I was just like kind of like messing around or whatever. But yeah, that's what happened. Simon.
And then first place was Vix.
Which is kind of funny because Vix didn't even have to fight for it. They just simoed each other and it made her first.
It happens sometimes though. It happens in a lot of games. It happens to me in Fortnite all the time. I'll be like just sitting there like waiting for the last enemy, and it's like, so and so died to the storm, and it's like, okay, well that's kind of a cheap way to win, but I'll take it.
Yeah, a win's a win, I guess.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Be like, no.
Yeah, let him back in here. I'm gonna
Beat him proper.
Nope.
anyway. Yeah, that was Last Man Standing.
And then for birthdays for August, we had Lord Reese, Lady Elizabeth, and Pius.
Mm.
And I'll let somebody else take over.
Happy birthday, by the way, to those people. Oh, funny story. This is funny. So Lady River showed up today.
Is it funny?
I think it's funny. So Lady River showed up today,
yeah, this is funny.
which is, North's partner for those that don't know. I'd never seen her out there before, so that was kind of cool.
It's cool that she's in costume and stuff too. She
And
actually
they're
has
sitting there
costume.
talking, and I was just like, I just want to be awkward. I always try to be awkward around her. I don't know why, just just to be silly. And I walked up with a piece of cake I was eating from the birthdays, and I was like, "You want a piece of cake, sweetheart?" Talking to North, and he's like, "Yeah, I do," and just like ate the piece of cake, and I just like walked away. It had to have been like the most awkward moment ever. And he said she didn't even say anything about it. Like it wasn't second guessed. It wasn't questioned.
She was just like, okay.
She was just like, okay.
She's definitely heard about you.
Yeah, I'm sure she has. Actually, I've been told she has, which probably makes her hate me, but that's fine. It is what it is.
The only way it could have been better if I was like, all right, love you. Whatever you.
Yeah, that's what he said. I walked away. He just be like, love you. I'd be like, love you too. And just like walked away. Either way, it was hilarious, I think. But to keep this thing going, Minion. Then we we fought, battled hard in Minion.
It was an hour long.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it was a crazy a long.
finally,
it got
when
reset.
I started to get some like people rolling, I finally was like, I was reeling them in hard. I did not want that to go any further. I was done with it.
Yeah.
And just to tell you this too, because I think it's pretty funny. It's not that funny, but at some point, Varel basically had the thing won. I mean, there was like
yeah,
a
I saw
couple
that.
people left, and he's like coming at me. I know I'm gonna die, and I just like was like, I'll just throw something out there, see if it sticks, And I was like, oh, you're not gonna fight me one-on-one honorably? Like just mess around. I wouldn't do that if I was Varel.
Yeah, I wouldn't have either.
And he's like, no, I'll fight you one-on-one. Everyone else stay out of it. And so I kill him, and the game gets reset. And I told him, I was like, you're so stupid. Why would you do that? And then like later on, another time it happened with Takimura where he had like a good amount of people, like good players too. And he started coming at me, and I was like, oh, I did the same thing.
Yeah,
and he's
because what
like,
else are you gonna do? Just die by them all? I mean, it's worth a shot.
Yeah, it's
to
worth
be
it. I'm
like,
just going to throw out something at the wall and see if it sticks. By the way, if I ever do that to you, don't listen to me.
Right.
And he fell for it too, and I killed him, and I was just like, your whole team's free. And then obviously I ended up winning the game, but mostly because, in my opinion, because I'm telling people, don't you leave my side. This is what we're doing.
You have to
These three
really
people go fight that
micromanage.
person.
Yeah.
We got to be careful because some people out there just die so they can be free. They do it on purpose. I know that.
Yeah.
But anyway, good game.
I do know that whenever Varel did your 1v1
Yeah.
and he lost, he was like, my people are free. Mercer instantly, oh shit, just started stabbing
I
people.
love that.
Yeah, and then after that, I was on the other team that you freed. The
Takimura's too.
on Takimura's team.
Oh man, she
Yeah,
probably
and
hated me
you-
in that match.
No, you said you're all free, and I was like, I'm free, and took off running like out of the circle. I was like, no, I'm out. I ain't even playing with that.
Dude, I love that. It was a good time.
And also, just because you mentioned Varel, It's cool that he was out today because
Yeah.
it's been a while since we've seen him. He only come out like the once, I think, in between.
I love it when Varel's out there.
He was a really
one of the
strong
most
player.
skilled fighters I've fought out there, period. I ain't keep up with me any day of the week. It's like basically 50-50. So I love it when he's out there. It's a good fight.
So shout out to Varel.
Yeah. Thanks for coming,
out.
and please continue to come. We'd love to have you.
Hell yeah.
Ditch after that, or Monster Ditch, whatever you want to call it. It's Ditch in the system. So we had obviously a team of heroes, a team of monsters. You kind of fight back and forth. You kind of like steal people's players. It's just a fun game. Ultimately, I don't know why my name's mentioned here. It says Monsters Captain Sarvak, Daveen, Pius, 2 wins. I don't even know what that means. I was not a captain.
No.
I was just
Yeah, it was,
being loud and
Sarvak.
obnoxious.
Did you
'cause
get
we were on the same
switched
team.
back and forth?
I did.
That's probably
You got
why.
switched
Yeah,
the
I
first
started with the
time.
heroes. Yep, that makes sense. But either way, Sarvak was the captain for the monsters, and Lucian was the captain for the heroes, and the heroes won that battle 3-2 after it was all said and done. So, congratulations to everybody that was on that team. Oh, here we go, hero
And
team.
it could be a little shout out to, or would be nice to give a little shout out to the people that do get swapped, because it also means that the other teams think that they're valuable people. So
True.
It's kind of a neat
Yeah.
little shout out anyway.
It says that the hero team originally was Lucian, Pius, Daveen, Little One, Eric the Red, Raven, Shadow Weaver, Gregor, Eridan, Empora, and Xander. That was the original team. I ended up on the losing team, but anyway, congratulations to everybody that partook in that. And then we ended up with a scramble, and it says there were 35 to 40 players. And then at the very end, during the scramble, there was a really, really cool roleplay death by Roford.
Oh yeah.
We have this magic item that basically just it's supposed to be a boulder, and when it hits you, you just die. And this kid just like flattened out for this when he got hit by it. It was very cool.
And he tried to dodge it too. Because you have to yell whatever it is. I
Boulder?
don't even know
Is
if
it
you have
boulder?
to yell anything with that one, but either way, it got yelled. Somebody said, I think it was Valnir. He said boulder
Yeah.
throwers or whatever. And so he turned around and kind of looked for a second, and then he saw it coming and tried to like jump backwards and dodge it, but it like hit his legs, and then he just
Yeah,
just
my
ate
understanding
it.
is he almost dodged it.
Yeah, he
it-
almost.
It hit his foot.
And it was a really long shot too. It was like from across the field that it hit him.
Yeah,
So.
it's probably 30 feet. That thing's not that heavy. You can't throw
No.
it that far. But anyway, that was the recap for the day.
So is there a requirement that you say boulder whenever you throw that, or you
No,
can
it's
just
not
throw it?
actually not.
Oh, okay.
It does not have a verbal.
Okay. Well, because Valnir gave me crap today because I hit him with it, and he's like, "Well, you didn't say boulder, but it's okay. I'll take it."
Maybe he thinks that there's a verbal for it. It's also
'Cause
just like
he's
one of those
comparing
items
it.
that we put in for like
I don't know, but
scramble when it doesn't really matter that much. Like,
he wasn't like being a smart aleck or anything. He was like, "I want that magic item. It's okay.
no,
I'll
that's
take
fair.
it."
Yeah.
I saw him looted off somebody at some point too. I'm like, that's hilarious. It's like a very good item. I'd want it too.
It's kind of a neat item in that when you get hit by it too. Okay, so like, if you throw it and hit somebody with it anywhere, like he said, it kills you. But if you're the one to die from it, you're the only one that can get it through the next life. So you get to pick it up as a ghost or whatever and take it back to the rest point with you, and then you get a chance to one-shot somebody else. So
Right.
it's kind of like a good pro and con. You're like,
Well,
oh, dang, I got crushed.
What if you die
Before
with
you
it
throw
before
it,
you
it
used
can
it?
be looted.
Okay, cool.
I wound up with it because somebody threw it and they missed their target, and then they got killed, and nobody
Sure.
knew if they could pick it up or not.
Well, we
and
had
I was
talked
like,
about that beforehand.
they-
I had disagreed with you. I think if somebody throws it, like anyone should be able to pick it up.
No, that's what I ended up saying.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
that's
cool.
how I wound up with it because everybody was like, "Well, I don't know, they died, so I don't know how it works." And I was like, "Well, can I pick this up?"
So-
And Heimdall was like, "Yeah, pick it up." And I was like, "Okay." Well, as soon as I bent over to pick it up, here comes Geefutin running right at me, and I was like, "Ah!"
Did you get him?
You hit
Yeah,
him?
I did.
Heck yeah.
So I only actually had it in my hand for about 0.3 seconds, but
Well, you got to kill
It
off it
worked,
though. That's what
so-
matters. You
yeah.
know.
And but yeah, you if you release it to throw it, or then it's anybody's game. You just pick it up, and then if you, like I said, don't throw it and then get killed, they can just loot it from you still.
Fair enough.
oh well, I guess I guess I did get killed by it once because I wound up killing Valnir with it too. I got hit with it and res with it too. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
I think people kind of need to get used to that too, because there are abilities higher level up that as it gets higher and higher levels, you're almost better off avoiding the whole packet. Is like if you don't understand how something works, 9 times out of 10 in our game, avoid the whole thing and you're probably safe.
Yeah. I will say that
Unless
with
you're a
the,
vampire and it's holy hand grenade, and then you're dead. Go ahead.
I mean, holy hand grenade's like pretty wild though.
You
I mean,
can keep
y'all
talking.
have seen Hermione Pothon and the Holy Grail.
Aye.
You know what that holy hand grenade's capable of.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
To blow your enemies into teeny tiny bits.
exactly.
I will say that in the ditch battle, I killed Daveen.
Probably. What did you kill Daveen or did you kill an orc?
I killed Daveen.
That's a lie.
Oh wait,
That's
you're
a
right.
cap.
No.
That's a cap.
Damn.
You probably killed a big ugly orc named Rugtug.
Yeah, that's
Probably.
it. Rectag. I was trying to think of the name.
That was you know that name, right? You know where that's from?
Yeah, that's like that.
It was the stupid
Brothers or
barbarian
whatever they
that
were.
didn't like know how to talk right.
Oh no! I
At
didn't
one
realize that.
time, he asked me to play this role out at the property a long time ago, and I was like, okay, I want to take this seriously, you know? So I went to like Medieval Collectibles or whatever. I bought a shield for it, an axe for it,
I do
a
remember all
costume
that.
for it, a fake beard for it, because at the time I couldn't really grow a beard. Like all kinds of stuff. And I just went out there, I'm Rugtug! Like it just like with this crazy outfit on. And I actually had a lot of time doing that, or a lot of fun doing that. So
All right. Well, I killed Rugtug.
yeah.
Matter of fact, I killed like half the monsters.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You feel pretty good about it?
And it was, you guys didn't even like see me, and I was all like, all right, fine, screw it.
Did you go into hide?
No.
No.
I hid behind my shield.
That works sometimes. I try to do that. But then people just start to like use my shield as a weapon against
Right.
me. It's terrifying. But anyway, what do you guys think about going ahead and going for
Daveen's Corner.
All right, I got a couple jokes today.
Okay.
First one.
Are they dirty?
We'll
see.
We'll see. Yeah. Why does Santa Claus have such a big sack?
Was that the joke?
It's a question. Why does Santa Claus have such a big sack?
I don't know.
To carry all the toys.
No,
Okay.
he only comes once a year. All right, that was my first joke.
Oh my god, dude.
Second joke. What goes in hard and dry but comes out soft and wet?
I don't know.
I do.
Bubble gum.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to skip a couple of these for right now. This is the last one I'm going to say today. Why can't Miss Piggy count to 70?
I don't know.
Because every time she gets to 69, she gets a little frog stuck in her throat.
Okay.
And that was
Daveen's Corner.
Yay!
we got a guest here today. I think it's her name's Sophie. Is that right?
Yeah.
What's up, Soph? Hello.
All right, you gotta sit. Sit.
Okay.
Anyway,
Thank you.
so are we ready for the? Oh, we got another segment.
Do we?
Do we have another
Do we have
segment?
time? Let's do the suggestion box first.
And
Okay,
see
that's
where we're
fair.
at.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
We did spend an obnoxious amount of time on Norse responses.
We need to learn how to cut his down.
Yeah, I agree.
Or just have somebody else do it.
No,
Thank you.
he
No
gets
more.
his own segment. Calm down. You get Eric's Emporium or whatever it's called.
It's Eric's Ensemble.
Oh, sorry. Is this for me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my name's on it.
Read the whole thing before, because at
Okay.
first I thought, wow, this is kind of mean, but no, the whole thing isn't mean.
What? I'm confused by it. Yeah, yeah. Ooh, that's at him.
Who?
I don't know why. I don't
is
understand you.
Oh, then read it.
Well, I can't yet. We gotta get going on this.
I like to hear all the trash about me.
It's not really
Here, I'll
trash.
read that one.
Kind of like a sideways comment at you, you know?
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, at first I thought it was just a bad one, but it's kind of.
It's kind of.
Kinda
It's just meant to
messing
be
with you.
funny. They're just giving you trouble.
Good.
You can give past one over to him. It doesn't matter who's.
Yeah, appreciate that one.
How many you got?
2.
You guys can
Ooh,
pick. Okay.
okay, that's fine. We can do that. You ready to go? You gonna start?
You really want me to?
Yeah, you need to read that. Listen.
You want
I'm
to
not-
end with it?
I'm not the one that put it in there, so
I didn't say you did.
what are you talking to
You
me
got a
about?
guilty
then?
conscience?
Maybe.
I'll start.
Okay.
Okay.
This one says a cool idea would be awards given at the end of the year for various things like best RP, best kill, etc.
It's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
I think it would be hard to to like do. I think it would be hard to like pull off, but I'm sure we could potentially do something like that, especially once we're at property. Things get a little bit easier.
We can have like an awards banquet.
Potentially, yeah. Sounds like a good
I
time.
agree. Go ahead.
Is it my turn?
It's your turn.
It was a great day. I love the weather. Was great. I loved everything about today. Make the hole bigger.
That goes up here.
Yeah, we'll put it up there. Maybe. Probably not, actually.
I mean,
Anyway, you're up.
It should go there. This is calls should be made before or during strikes, not after.
Yeah. Agreed. So if you have like an ability that requires you to use a verbal, you need to be saying that before it released from your hand or a strike or whatever it is. You can't, or you're not supposed to, use the ability, wait to see if it strikes, and then say the verbal. That's not how it works. If you're doing that and I see it, I'm just going to say your ability spent and it didn't work.
And if it gets bad enough, if we have to, we'll make people sit out for a game that they are in if they're doing that repeatedly. Like if we have to warn people a couple times in a particular game, we may make them sit out just for that game.
That's
and
fair.
Be like, hey, you're doing it again or whatever. And then I'd like to like explain a little bit of this too, a little bit more, is that, or like I have some thoughts on this, I guess, is that in our game, like in real life, magic doesn't exist. Also, Santa Claus isn't real. Sorry.
Whoa.
Okay. But anyway, magic doesn't really exist, obviously. So when we're shooting, when we're using an ability, take an archer's arcane arrow. The point of me yelling arcane arrow when I release it, as it's intended to be used, is to get people's attention, because there's not going to be any sort of visual or audio type warning for anybody.
Right.
But if we lived in a world, presumably, with magic, it would do more than just, it would be like bright arrow or
You would
whatever.
see it coming.
Yeah, there would be something more than just a regular arrow coming at you. And so also, it's important to not delay you saying verbals on things like that too, because it doesn't give them any warning. Like, they should be warned as soon as it's released so that they can have time to react.
Right.
Not after it's in the air, basically.
Right, because you technically should have the ability to dodge that ability, or at least a chance to.
Right. It should make you turn around and go, what the heck?
Some people have abilities that kind of like cancel out things like that. Like, there's a lot of reasons that our game works the way it works. So if you're trying to gain an advantage by waiting to see if it hits before you like use your ability, like, stop. Or there's going to be consequences for it moving forward.
Right.
Yep.
Anyway.
And I have great games. Food is by donation, so if you don't like it, don't eat it.
True.
That was it.
Okay.
Anybody want to add anything to that?
I think the food is awesome.
Agreed.
And the games, too.
And I think what they're more saying is if somebody else brings food you don't like, you don't really got to complain about it. Just don't eat it.
That's fair.
If somebody else, or even if Mercer brings food you don't like or whatever, which she may ask for your opinion about it, and that's different, I guess. But
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I asked Daveen today, and then
I don't know if she liked the answer she got, but that, I was asked.
I was okay with it, but it seemed like he felt bad, mainly because I was giving him a hard time. Even though I was the one that asked, I was just giving him crap.
next time just lie.
Maybe that's.
don't
I
do
don't
that.
lie. I don't like lying. I'm
do
not a
that.
big fan of that.
I
Anyway.
wasn't upset about any of it. It's fine.
All right.
Is it my turn?
It is.
Oh.
Yes.
I was like, why is everybody looking at me? You want me to say more? Good day today. Been a minute since I played. Glad I played again.
I bet I know. who
That
wrote
is Ye Futin. He actually told me when he put that in there so that I could say who it was.
Oh,
I
cool.
guess he
Well,
hasn't
we
played
were
since he hurt his
glad for
ankles.
you to play again.
Yep.
Good seeing you out there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this one says tried to loot a marshal, and you think they'd carry loot, and then it says Eric the Red in quotations, but they don't, and then a random good job Daveen, which I don't understand that.
Why
and
that's
then,
in the middle of it.
Yeah, and love the game. Just had to give Eric crap. So there you go.
I know who did that. And you know what? Thank you. I know who you are. The person tried to loot me, and I didn't have any coin on me at the time, and all I had was my can of chew. And so I was like, here you go.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's gross.
But they're pouches, so I mean,
No,
Still.
yeah, that's
but
not too bad.
still, yeah.
all right.
I know No, somebody just for clarification
Did
for
they put it in? Or?
No,
Oh,
they
okay.
refused it.
for clarification for the listeners, I had a player come up to me today and say you're supposed to have loot on you all the time no matter what.
That's not
and
true.
That's not a rule.
No.
It's not something
No.
that's a requirement. If somebody loots you and you don't have anything to give them, you can just tell them hey, I don't have anything.
Yeah, there's a couple different ways to loot, and I can clarify some of them without lingering on it too long. There's one is the regular way you would loot if somebody has a copper, if you're in campaign, say, and somebody kills and loots you. If you have copper on you, you're supposed to give it to them. Alternatively, it's frowned upon, I guess. I can't control if somebody's going to go loot somebody, get a copper, go put it in their backpack at the table.
Right.
I can't control that.
I've never done that, but some people do.
But the idea would be that is frowned upon. If you have copper, carry it on you. If you get killed in campaign especially, and somebody loots you, give them a copper. If you don't want to give up whatever else you might have, which nobody has anything else besides copper right now anyway, so basically just give them a copper.
Right.
However, just so you don't know that it's not it's kind of fair, is that you can only get looted once per death anyway. So once you get looted once, anybody else comes to try to loot you, and you can just tell them even as they're looting, say, or you can wait till they get done if you want, is a little bit, it's okay to do that, and then just say you find nothing.
Sure.
But inferring, you can tell them, or say, I've already been looted, so you find nothing, whatever.
And that's kind of how I run it typically. So I carry around loot on me at all times. If I'm out there and I get killed and somebody loots me, I give up a copper, but then I'm done.
I know you're talking about in campaign, or even in a game will you do that?
Even in a game, I'll give up a copper. I mean, it's a quarter. I'm not worried about it.
I do.
In fact, I'm sure it makes some people's day to loot a copper. And the other thing I do is I don't just have copper in my pouch. I have silver in my pouch. And if you kill me, I'm going to randomly pick a coin from that pouch. I can't see in it. I'm going to randomly pull out a coin. If you get a silver, you get a silver. Congratulations. I don't care.
Well, I'll start doing that too, because I do have silver in mine and I avoid them. So
I don't avoid them.
Put them back in.
If somebody kills me, I feel like they have earned the loot that I carry on
whatever
my body.
comes out of the pouch.
If you luckily get a silver when I pull it out, congratulations. I think that could genuinely make someone's day.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that. It's not financially, it's not a huge hit for me. So it is what it is.
And then here's kind of seems how we did play Scramble today, so it's a bit relevant in that regard. If you're in Scramble and you have a magical item on you that can be looted, you can give up copper instead of that magical item. You can
buffer loot.
your
Yeah. that
Now,
happens.
my question to you is let's say we're playing Scramble and I have the boulder, right?
Okay.
And I'm killed and I don't want to give up the boulder because I didn't get a chance to use it or whatever. Can I buffer with 1 copper? And be okay, now I'm going to res, or is it do I have to sit there and continually give up copper for all the people that are trying to loot me?
It would still be the same way, but the boulder specifically can't be looted off if you were killed by it. If you're killed by the boulder...
No. Let's say I said I had it, didn't get an opportunity to use it.
Oh, okay. And then someone comes up and tries to loot you?
Yeah, and I don't want to give it up because I didn't get a chance to use it.
Use your 1 buffer loot, and then you get up.
Okay,
After the time, because somebody might still go by and do something else to you besides loot you, use your body to do whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, drain, I drain life
Sure.
if I'm bleeding out or whatever. So you're not mutilated where you're...
Well, typically for those games, it's 10 seconds. So
yes.
the likeliness of that happening is very low. But I hear what you're saying. Okay,
Right.
cool.
But yeah, they can only loot you once, even in that.
Cool.
That's my point.
I carry little plastic knick-knacky things, and once my copper for the day is gone, I'll put 2 copper in my pouch, and if those both get looted, then I just grab a handful and here, pick one. They're little
that's weak
knick-knacky little
sauce.
things. But if I already gave my 2 copper up for the day, that's what I
It's
got.
2 copper.
It's 2 copper.
Nobody ever
nothing.
loots me. 90% of the
That's
time I
bull.
leave
I
with
try to loot
every
you.
single
Did I loot
thing.
you today?
No.
Did I try to loot you today? I
No.
looted someone that I don't normally loot today. I was like, "Do you carry loot?" I think it was Trinity. I think that's what this copper's from. I was like, "Do you
You
carry
know what?
loot?"
We all know now. So do our viewers.
Yeah.
I've
loot
said
you.
on this podcast multiple times that I carry 2 copper on me every time, and I don't get looted.
I think it's whack.
Amazing.
Well,
Oh, 2 copper. Ooh, what am I gonna do with that?
Well,
50
if somebody
cents.
actually looted those every time, I might up the amount I carry
That's
on
it.
me.
You're getting killed next week.
Every
And
time.
looted.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
You'll
let somebody
forget.
else do the looting too.
You'll forget. It's fine.
You're probably right.
Probably.
And then also, I'll just kind of mention this just because I think it's nice to clarify this every now and then because people don't think understand how it works. And if they would do it more, it'd be funner in a way, like it can be funner, is
Okay.
request loot. So anytime you kill anybody, even in an event, You can choose to request loot them. If you request loot, you just still do like a loot like normal, and at the end of it, you say, "Can I have your hat?" or whatever. And you can choose to infinitely deny a request loot. But if you're cool or whatever, you can give me your hat, and then I'll obviously give it back to you if you kill me and loot me. Like you can't just keep their shit or whatever. But it's a way to.
It happened to me today. So somebody killed me or something, was like, I want your ears. I was like, I'm not giving you my ears. These are a pain in the butt to put on. Like, here, take my money. Take copper.
That works.
All right, I have.
And that's a cool way to do it because you wouldn't have had to give them anything too.
No, I didn't have to.
Because it was. Oh, you done? You want me to
No.
read it? Okay. It says, "Quit bitching, enjoy the battles and fellow heroes."
All right, just read another one. You got too many.
And then I have, "What's the difference between a dead baby and an onion? No one cries when you cut up a dead baby."
Oh.
And then the next one says, "Heston is good with a two-handed sword."
Nice.
You like
Ouch.
that? Breeze right past that one.
Yes, thank you.
Here, you can read this one. I need to recover from that.
Oh,
What, you got another bad one? What's going on around here?
No, I think I interrupted him. Let me read it. I'll
he
read it.
interrupts me way too much.
That's probably true.
You know what?
No, you don't get any more. I'm reading this one now.
Oh, okay.
He's on 2, right?
Here, just here you go. Call them names. All right, this one says, do you want to read this?
No, go ahead.
Okay, this one says, question for podcast. Who do you most enjoy fighting and why? I'll answer. I enjoy everybody that takes their hits. If you don't take your hits, I don't want to fight you. It's not fun for me. Take your hits when you get hit. I do. You should do the same thing.
What about you, North?
Oh, also earlier, I know this is...
What are you staring at me for, bro?
Anyway, you guys quit goofing off. Shout out to Thyra. I had a pair of elf ears today, and they came from her, and they've worked better than any elven ears I've bought for myself. And they were like cheapish elven ears, and they're the best elven ears I've ever had in my life.
Cool.
There you go.
I tried.
I know, and I did try to use your double-sided tape. It just didn't really work. So, but anyway, shout out to Thyra. Thank you very much for buying me those.
Good job, Thyra.
I think I enjoy fighting. I want to say Trinity.
Trinity's fun to fight. He takes his hits.
He takes his hits. He kills me 9% of the time, but just
You say 9%?
90,
Okay.
99.9.
almost.
100%.
Almost.
Oh, wow.
But when it's like me and him, we like give each other jabs about being old, and he's like maybe 5 months older than me, and old man comments come out, and the old man diapers, everything. It's fun. So that's why I enjoy fighting against him.
Fair enough. What about you guys?
I enjoy fighting you just
That's fair.
because it's like funny.
It
like
is
our
funny. We're
rivalry
just like
or whatever.
Yeah, we're just like goofy.
Even though I
with
beat
it.
you all the time. It's,
Yeah, he's killing me.
I agree with what you said. I enjoy fighting people that just fight fair. Like, it's not necessarily fair, but like they follow the rules and they don't try to cheat or anything like that. Like, I don't think there's really anybody out there that I would say I dislike fighting. So.
That's fair.
And like, if hypothetically everybody was really, like, if that wasn't a factor, like everyone just followed the rules and it was kind of a
Or it
shitty
would
way
be
to say
the
it.
best game I've ever played in my life.
Who
It
would
still
then be
is.
who would then be like,
Okay,
like
that's fair.
maybe not like who, but I guess I'm projecting, because what I'm saying is if everybody did follow the rules, I would fight whoever I thought was the most difficult to beat.
That's fair.
Because I feel like that's the person that I would have the most to learn from.
Sure. Oh, it's you? That's me. It probably is. But, I mean, I agree. Sometimes it's fun just to fight people that challenge you, because if you fight people that aren't as good as you all the time, you're never going to get better.
Right.
Right.
I feel like 95% of the people out there are better than me, but
That's not what it's about, though.
I also like tried to joke with people and like make it fun and not just go out there and be like, well, I'm gonna die again. Like, I go
That's
out
what I
there
do.
but you know what I mean? Like,
No, I get it.
if somebody that I think is gonna beat me, I'm like, oh nope, and like make a big deal about how I'm not fighting you because you're way better than me, but like I will still fight them. Like, I just
Right.
try to make it fun.
That's true. The point is that anybody really, in reality, can beat anybody. In fact, Rose killed me twice today. during it might have been a minion. At least twice that I know of. She might have killed me a third time. I don't know.
She told me she's coming for me next week. I might go.
She's coming for you next week?
That's what she
I think
said.
she was coming for me this week because I think I offended her, which I apologize if I did that. But I was told that she was making fun of my elf ears because they didn't match the color of my skin. I'm like, well, I can't help that. And I'm not going to put makeup on my damn ears to like make it match. I'm just not gonna do it. So I walked up to her. I was like, so you're making fun of my elven heritage, you know, like just like making fun. She's like, and she like kind of smart, like smiles, and I was like, at least I'm not a cow, and like just like walked away. And I think she like actually took offense to it.
Yeah,
I did
after
not
you
mean it. I went back to her and I was like, you do understand, like this is all role play, like whatever. And she was like, just get away from me. I was like, okay, now I feel bad, but.
I kind of couldn't tell either. I think she was just playing along, but she
You
did look
never
a little
know.
upset whenever
She
you
came in
first
and
said
talked to
that.
me later, so I think
Oh,
it was
okay.
fine. But she did kill me twice today, which she doesn't normally do. I think she was gunning for me, honestly. But congratulations to her for killing me twice. Anyway, I got one more here. You guys ready? Question for the podcast players: who would you like to see be a clan lord? It's a good question. It's a really good question.
Mercer.
I
Are
think
you
you
saying
could. I think you
would
could do a
like
good
me
job.
to, or you're asking me who I think?
I would like to see you.
Yeah,
as
I think
clan
that
lord.
would be. I think you would be a great clan lord. I think anybody who is willing to put a little bit more in than the next guy, that's the people that make good clan lords, especially when you can make garb. That is like the coolest thing ever because I couldn't
Yeah.
tell you how many times that I'm like, I've gone to like seamstresses and like had costumes made for my players. Like the ability to do it on your own is kind of like a cheat code or something. That's really cool.
I don't know.
That's a drawing of itself, really. To be
Yeah.
like, oh, wow.
I'd join her clan just to get cool garb out of it.
right.
Like, I get Trinity crap in, like, the RP chat about being a follower and, like, oh, you just follow whoever, because after Rand died, you know, him being in his clan and stuff. But honestly, like, I feel way better being in a clan with someone just telling me what to do. Like, I would much rather have somebody else be calling the shots. That way, if something crappy happens, it doesn't fall back on me. Like,
Gosh, that's like the worst way to look at things, though. Like, I don't want any responsibility because I don't want it to be my
don't,
fault I
like-
lose. Like, that's just not it. That's not the mentality you should have.
but really, like, in my outside life, like, outside of LARP, like, I do a lot of things and I have to be, like, responsible for a lot of stuff. So, like, at LARP, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't
That's
want to
fair.
have to, like, think and make choices. Like, I'd rather just go there and just enjoy being a part of it.
Yeah.
And I think part of the presumption maybe is being made is that that you're going to have really good members, basically, like saying if you had really good members and they just listened to everything you said and you were able to build their, you know, like they were there, they had gold membership, they did everything they're supposed to do, would you still not want to be a lord? If it was just a matter of being like, hey, you
No,
guys need to
because-
do this and do this.
No, because I'd still
that'd be
still
awesome.
be having to, like, make decisions and
Sure.
push things in a certain direction and stuff like that. And also for role play, it's a lot easier for somebody to be like, hey, I need you to go, you know, deliver this prisoner to over there and be able to role play that instead of having to come up with all of it on my own.
Let's put
The
it this
only
way.
thing I'll say, though, because I would like to add to this, the only thing I will say is that being a lord, especially once we get out to property, adds some stuff that not everybody else gets to participate in. And that's the funnest I've ever had at LARP was during some of those clan lord meetings.
The War Council was
The
a
War
cool
Council
meeting.
was
Yeah.
amazing because
Yeah.
people are pounding on the table with different opinions. People are yelling at each other, and it's all role play. No one's actually mad. Like it's
Right.
just like I don't know, but it adds an element to the game I think that most people will never get to experience. And if you're capable of being a lord, so you can be a part of that, I recommend doing it.
And it's kind of like, even when we had it like that, it was also like exclusive. So like the people that
Right.
weren't part of that would just be outside hearing us yell and being like, whoa,
You're like,
what is going on in there?
Yeah. And it even like got to the point where like people wanted to bring like their clan members in,
started
and we
bringing,
were
like, a
like,
second
no,
in.
you get a second, and that's it. And so like everybody was kind of like jockeying to be in those meetings because they were intense.
And even the second, I don't think could talk. They could only talk to their whoever their
Yeah,
lord was.
they weren't allowed to
and then
speak.
They could relay it, but
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And I mean, I remember even getting like pretty heated in there sometimes, and people were like, "Is he okay?" Like, no, he's good. He's just role playing. Like that's just a thing that they're doing in there, and people are like literally yelling at each other. And it was some of my greatest memories, honestly. It's fun times.
I do know somebody I would like to see be a clan lord would be Joseph. I think that he takes, like, the history of a lot of things really
True.
serious.
Yes.
And, like, even though he's really quiet, I think that if he were able to have that position for a little while, it would really break him out of a lot of his shell. Like, because I've already seen him progress, like, with being less socially awkward and, like, making more friends out there and stuff just in the short time that he's been coming.
Yeah.
So I think if he had the opportunity to do that, that it would really
That's fair.
bring him out. So.
And Joseph is one of my favorite players out there. I really like Joseph.
Yeah, I do too.
So that makes sense to me. I don't know that I want to name like a specific name. For me, I'm just going to say the generic. Basically anybody who's willing to go above and beyond. Because I think that's what's needed. I think you need at least 9 lords that are willing to do things that everybody else isn't. And if you have that, then it's going to build a game on its own that's like, dang, now if I come in here and I get a lord spot 1, I don't have an automatic spot. I'm super excited for the time when someone's like, oh, I want to be a clan lord, and they have to be a liege lord. Like, I'm really excited for that. Like, you have to build up on your own. So my answer would just be anybody who's willing to do extra, basically.
Or even just like that would be wild to have nomad clans or, like you say, a liege clan, and the way they have to bust into the war council is to win the battle for the crown.
That's
That would
literally
be,
how
like,
they have to do it.
epic.
Now, I think you could do it by having, like, whoever's land you're on, or any clan. You'd be like, hey, I want your help winning
True.
for this.
True.
And you're like, that's fine. I don't care as long as number 2 doesn't win. Or,
'Cause
like,
it
if you're
moves
number
you
1.
down, right.
Right. So, like, you know, hypothetically speaking, we used to do that. Like, if we didn't want the crown at the time, like, I just don't want the responsibility of being king right now. I'm like, okay, well, who do we want to win it? Because we don't want it to affect our standing within whatever. And we'll just, like, go pick somebody out. They can be king if they want to be king. We'd go have a meeting with that player. Do you want to be king? Yes, no, whatever. And then we would basically win the BFC and then give them the crown, which I would never want the crown that way, but teach their own. But it's fun. It's a good time.
Right.
So,
And, well, who would you like to?
oh,
To see as a
It
lord.
doesn't matter because, you know, one, he's just going to cut us off.
he was waiting
and
for
two-
that.
I fell into that.
2, it doesn't matter because he's going to
You,
sell
I
them
wanna see
out.
you as a lord.
Whoever.
I
what
mean,
I
he
was gonna-
sold
that's
me
what I was
out
gonna say.
today.
He sold you out, so he's going to sell anybody else
That's
out.
what I was gonna say. Is you? I was gonna say I wanted to see you as a lord.
Oof. How you feel now?
Wow.
Wow.
I feel like
I've changed my mind.
Nope. Mm-mm.
I feel like a complete.
Dumbass.
Thank you.
Before
Sorry,
we-
I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, bro.
Well, you did.
It's funny looking at him like that.
You like when people complain about getting cut off and then they cut you off?
That's okay.
How's that make you feel?
I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just
Okay.
gonna roll with it.
Go for it.
But
I think
before
the
we
players are okay
leave
with it.
here today. Okay, well, worry about your own trash passion parade. I was just gonna remind you, but it's cool.
No, it keeps it going. We're keeping them entertained. It's fine. Do you want me
Yeah,
to do
it's
it?
only
Okay.
funny
Trash
to
bash
you.
win. I'll do it. Trash bash win.
I feel it's. Oh yeah. I can look up dates real quick if that's
I can
necessary.
tell you right now.
Yeah. What do you got?
The parade.
Oh.
So the parade, we are all going to meet up at the North County. I got that one right. North County Middle School in the front. Okay. The lineup is at 7:30 in the behind the middle school, and the parade will start at 9. And then the trash bash
The date
Same
of the
day.
parade is.
is the same day.
This is Labor Day, I believe.
It's Labor Day.
This is
It's on Labor Day.
September 4th. It's a
Okay.
Monday.
Okay.
And so the trash
Oh,
bash
yeah,
will be
okay.
that evening at our normal spot at
Right. Normal
5.
time at 5 o'clock. So
So we are to meet at the front of North County Middle School at 9 o'clock.
No,
7:30.
7:30.
7:30. Okay.
The parade starts at 9. So we meet up at 7:30. Make sure
And
that we have
everything.
everybody.
And I don't want to cut you off, but I'm going to. Everybody. This is already taken care of. They just show up. We're good to go.
Yes, I have the
Okay.
paperwork.
And we just show up in costume, and I
Walk
guess
a parade.
yeah,
Yes.
basically, if we have wagons this time, we'll make sure that nobody's pulling anything extra. Because last time that was kind of my fault. I didn't know what I'd need to go to the booth and whatnot, and I kind of made people carry more stuff than really they
I
needed
think-
to. But
Just, and maybe this is something we don't discuss on the podcast, but I'm going to. Maybe we carry less water this time. We have like a little bit of water for people
Sure.
who need it or whatever. I did like the popsicle thing. The popsicle
Right.
was genius for the
Okay.
people loved the popsicles for the parade, especially if it's going to be hot that day, and more than likely it will be. I think those were a hit
yeah,
and
you can-
cheap.
yeah, I agree.
I
100%.
agree.
Oh wow. Anything else we need to discuss?
No, I think that's all I have.
Nice.
Well, we hope you keep listening.
And
We hope you keep battling in the name of our capital, Darvishan.
and
We hope to see you all next week.
bye.